excited. Why? Because it's Sukkot, and on Sukkot I love to eat chewy chocolate chip cookies. Do you want to make some chewy chocolate chip cookies? Let me hear you say yes. I can't hear you. Say it louder. Let me hear you say yes. Well, okay, so we are going to make some chewy chocolate chip cookies together. You are going to need the following things. You're going to need a bowl. You are going to need a big spoon. Let me see your spoon. This is my spoon. Get ready. Get your big spoon. You're going to need a teaspoon. So big spoon and a teaspoon. You are going to need, in terms of ingredients, you are going to need some flour. You are going to want to have some sugar. I'm using white caster sugar. You want a little bit of salt. I know, salt in biscuits, but trust me. You are going to want a little bit of vanilla. It doesn't matter if you don't have it. You're going to need an egg. I've done mine already. I've cracked already. You're going to need some margarine. And then finally, you are going to need chocolate chips. Okay, so once you've got all your ingredients, you are ready to get started. Okay, so let's make some chewy chocolate chip cookies. I'm so excited. I love these cookies. They are so tasty. So you get your margarine. You want half a cup of margarine, which funnily enough is the same as half a tub of margarine, which is 115 grams for any parents who are worried about scales. So half a tub of margarine into your bowl. Best thing to do is leave the margarine out to get really soft before you do the cooking. So once you've got half of your margarine in a bowl, you want to put 1/3 of a cup of sugar into the bowl. So half a cup of margarine and 1/3 of a cup of white sugar. Once you've done that, you need to get some plain flour. Now you're going to do 1 1/4 cups of plain sugar. So you've got half a cup of margarine, 1/3 of a cup of sugar, and 1 1/4 cups of plain flour. Okay, once you've done all of that, I think it's time to do some mixing. So, you ready to do some mixing? Get your bowl, hold it super tight, and give it a really good mix. Really good mix. Really good mix. It's going to take a while, but it's going to start to look a bit like breadcrumbs. Very soft breadcrumbs, but it's going to start to come together a little bit. So, let me show you what mine looks like. Does yours look like that? I know it doesn't look very tasty at all, does it? But trust me, these are going to be super chewy, yummy chocolate chip cookies. So give it a mix. Keep mixing. Mix. Keep mixing until it really looks like breadcrumbs. I'm going to put my hands in because I washed my hands before I started to show you. Look. Looks a little bit like breadcrumbs. You might even put this on top of some apple crumble. Oh, maybe we can make that next time. But we're making chocolate chips cookies. So now I've added in my flour. I've got my marge. I've got my sugar. I've given it a good mix. It looks like breadcrumbs. I'm going to add in my egg. Ready? Plop. Now, just before I mix the egg in, I'm going to do something very silly. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in. So I'm going to put some salt into my hand. I'm going to take a pinch from my hand of salt and throw it in the bowl. And I'm going to take another small pinch and throw it in the bowl. And I'm going to throw the rest of the salt away. And I'm going to get my teaspoon, which I had before. And I'm going to pour a little bit of vanilla. This is my vanilla essence. Just checking it is vanilla. Pour it onto the teaspoon and into the bowl. Plop. Now, what do you think we're going to do? We're going to leave it here like this, or should we give it a mix? You're right. If you're saying give it a mix, I agree with you. You want to give it a bit of a good mix now. Mix. And now it's starting to look a bit like cookie dough. Give it a really good mix. Try not to spill some on the floor like I just did. because whoever's at home isn't going to be too happy. Probably best to do it on a table, but I don't have a table to show you. So there, we've got it. Now, this is what my mix looks like. What's missing? I can't hear you. What is missing? If you think you know what's missing, I want you to shout it really, really loudly. What do you think is missing from my chocolate chip cookie mix? You're right! I forgot to put the chocolate chips in. So I need to very quickly get my bag of chocolate chips. And I want to put a whole cup, I know, a whole cup of chocolate chips into my mix. Are you ready? A whole cup, ready, pour. And do you know what? Because it's Sukkot, I'm going to add even more chocolate chips in. Yummy. So give it now another mix, because we've got to get all those chocolate chips inside into our biscuit mix. So give it a mix. Give it a mix. Now you know why you need your big spoon. Give it a mix. Keep mixing. Now, that's what it looks like. Can you see all the chocolate chips in there? And it tastes so yummy. But can I eat this yet? No, I need to put it into the oven. So I'm going to turn my oven on. And I'm going to turn it to 170 degrees Celsius in my fan oven. So 170 degrees Celsius in my fan oven. And now I've got a choice. Do I make one giant cookie or do I make lots of little small cookies? I like small cookies. So this is what you need. You need your little spoon and you need a tray. So get a tray, and on the tray make sure there is some baking paper. Otherwise, it's going to stick. And what you need to do is get your spoon, dip it in the mixture, get a full teaspoon and just plonk it onto the tray. If you want to use your hands, you can. Little spoon, plonk it onto the tray. In fact, I'm going to start using my hands just to show you can also use your hands. Plonk onto the tray. But look what I'm doing. I'm leaving a space between the balls because they're going to go really flat and we don't want them to touch each other, otherwise you're going to end up with a giant cookie. So you want to do this until you've got the whole tray done, and then I'll tell you what you do next. So do it with me. We're going to do it together. You ready? Little spoon, using my finger to push it off onto the tray. And they don't need to be round, they can be all different shapes. That one's got lots of chocolate chips I just did. So, onto my tray. Big gap in between. So you want a big teaspoonful of mixture for every single biscuit. Keep going. I think I'm going to need a second tray. And if I think it's too close together, I just pick up the mix and move it. So, let's see. I'm going to show you mine in a moment. Then I want to see everybody's trays full of yummy biscuit dough. So, let me show you mine. You ready to see? This is my first tray and it's ready to go in the oven. Now, I'm going to put this in the oven for 7 minutes because they're really small, maybe even 8 at 170 degrees. I'm going to take them out. And when I take them out, they're going to be super soft. So you can't eat them yet. You've got to let them cool down and then they're going to cool and they're going to be really yummy and chewy. So into the oven they go. Set a timer for 8 minutes. When I'm ready to take them out of the oven, I'm going to show you what they look like. I'll see you soon. Okay, so my chewy chocolate chip cookies have been in the oven for about actually they've been in for 9 minutes because they weren't ready yet. Also, I made a small mistake before. You want to cook it at 180 degrees, not 170 degrees. Silly me. 180 degrees in your oven for about 8 or 9 minutes or until they're starting to get a little bit brown around the outside. So, might have been in the oven for about 9 minutes at 180. I'm going to take them out. I'm so excited. Let's have a look. I need a towel. Otherwise I'm going to burn myself. So, of course, ask somebody at home, an adult, to take the stuff in and out of the oven. So, let's have a look. These are so yummy. Look at them. They flattened out. And when they go cold, they're going to be yummy and chewy. So I'm going to put them on a tray to get cold. And when they're cold, I'm going to enjoy one of them in my Succah. Happy baking. Please post pictures of your baking onto the Kids at BES Facebook group. Bye.